In the shadows of Gulf opulence, a whisper is growing louder, from Muscat's royal courts to the secluded suites of Ziggy Bay. For the first time in the modern history of the Arabian Peninsula, a royal dares to tax the untouchables. Oman's new 5% levy on high-net-worth individuals has triggered not protest, but an eerie quiet. No press statements, no royal objections, just a silence as rich as the accounts it seeks to reach. But behind this calm lies a silent war. Old families who once funded sultans now find themselves audited. Offshore accounts once immune now glow red on internal watch lists, and whispers of anonymous palace resistance echo through empty halls. This isn't just a fiscal policy, it's a rebellion, coded in spreadsheets, enforced by AI, and targeted at the highest floors of power. Welcome to Oman's tax revolution. The Sultan's quiet decree. It began with no fanfare, just a late-night bulletin from Oman's Ministry of Finance, issued with the ambiguity of royal protocol. A single line: a 5% contribution levy shall be applied to annual net earnings exceeding 1 million Omani rials. There was no mention of enforcement, no detail on exemptions, no speech from Sultan Haitham, but the silence was the signal. In a region where taxation is taboo, an offense to the social contract between rulers and the ruled, Oman's move was seismic, especially because it wasn't aimed at the middle class, nor expats, nor corporate giants. It was aimed squarely at the Gulf's last sacred cows, the elite families who bankroll the monarchy's legacy. Within hours, encrypted messages lit up between old merchant dynasties in Mutra, investment syndicates in Salalah, and royal family branches in Al-Sib. Their concern wasn't just the money, it was what this meant. Because this wasn't policy, this was a declaration. The Sultan was breaking a covenant centuries old, that loyalty was repaid in immunity, that as long as tributes flowed upward, scrutiny never flowed back down. And yet, no royal denied it. No public objection was filed. Instead, a deeper game began. Internal sources from the Royal Court Affairs Office describe an intelligence cell repurposed from Oman's cybercrime division. Its mission? To track evasion before it began, AI crawlers were deployed into financial metadata, cross-referencing tax records with luxury asset transfers, off-book land deals, and high-end purchases within and beyond the Karif coast. Even the Sultan's cousins were not exempt. One quietly abandoned a London penthouse acquisition after receiving what insiders call a whisper signal, a pre-audit alert that signals soft warning before formal investigation. Oman had declared a tax revolution, and the palaces responded not with rage, but with calculated withdrawal. Because in this game, the first to speak loses. The watch list of silence. Officially, Oman's tax authority has published no blacklist. No names, no leaks, no drama, but insiders speak of a digital shadow document known simply as Sheet 39. Sheet 39 is updated weekly inside a sealed cyber vault within the central bank. It doesn't list those who've refused to pay. It lists those who haven't been seen. High net worth Omanis who suddenly reroute their travel, cancel high-ticket purchases, or go dark on known devices are automatically flagged. One Muscat-based jeweler, who normally imported $500,000 in Italian watches each season, was removed from priority customs. Another royal-affiliated shipping magnate saw his port clearances suddenly under review. The punishment isn't legal, it's logistical. Hotels glitch during elite bookings. Cars stall at biometric gates. Visa renewals are delayed. Not denied, just slowed. Even private jet tarmacs experience silent reshuffles when a flagged individual is scheduled to land. The quietness is the point. No one can accuse the Sultan of retaliation, but everyone feels the shift. And while old wealth tries to evade visibility, a new class of elite is emerging. The compliant younger royals, startup investors, and nationalized executives are paying not because they agree with the tax, but because they understand its deeper language. This isn't about 5%, it's about 5 moves ahead. Those who pay become eligible for quiet favors, preferential land zoning, diplomatic endorsements, early access to government-backed IPOs. Those who don't, they aren't punished. They are paused. In the Sultanate of Whispers, to be paused is to be erased without ever being named. Resistance in robes. Not all palaces stay quiet. In the outskirts of Nizwa and Salalah, among the old fortresses of Oman's merchant noble class, A different kind of resistance is forming. Not loud, not violent, but ritualistic. It begins in majlis gatherings, private halls where lineage counts more than law. There, former ministers, tribal financiers, and religious scholars convene under the guise of heritage preservation. But the true agenda is economic sovereignty. Documents are passed by hand, not email. Phones are turned off before entry, and in whispered Arabic, they discuss not how to avoid the tax, but how to outlive it. Strategies include shifting capital into crypto-backed waqf, charitable trusts, moving inheritance into Sharia-protected family funds, and triggering asset freezes by invoking obscure clauses in tribal land covenants. Some have even petitioned foreign embassies to classify assets under cultural preservation acts, making them temporarily untouchable. They do not challenge the Sultan directly, they resist by reinterpreting legacy. This is not the revolution of protest, this is the rebellion of paperwork. Even within the Al Said royal family, splits are emerging. A younger cousin aligned with Gulf Innovation Councils publicly endorsed the levy, calling it a noble redistribution. Privately, he was granted a 7-year tax deferral to fund a state-backed tech incubator. Meanwhile, older uncles watch in silence, their voice absent from state gatherings for the first time in decades. And still, the Sultan says nothing, because this is a game of clocks. The elite believe they can wait him out, but the spreadsheets keep ticking. The algorithm of compliance. Hidden behind every audit and flag transfer is a system no one in Oman will publicly name, but every elite whispers about. It's called Saika, an AI platform trained not on general finance, but on elite behavior. SAQA doesn't track numbers. It tracks signals. When a high-value individual books fewer stays at Al Bustan Palace or suddenly shifts spending from Muscat to Marbella, SAQA flags the behavioral drift. If a royal's credit patterns shift toward asset liquidation or hard currency exchanges spike within family trusts, it triggers a compliance cascade. The algorithm assigns a fluid rating between 0 and 7, internally known as the Kamsa Index. Anyone rated 5 or higher is subjected to a multi-tier soft audit. That doesn't mean investigation, it means discomfort. Bank accounts become sluggish, loan approvals stall. Customs flags personal shipments for secondary review. Even the family's trusted lawyers may suddenly become unavailable, themselves under scrutiny. But for those ranked 2 or below, doors open, projects accelerate, policy drafts shift in their favor. It's data-driven fealty, measured in milliseconds. The effect on palace culture is profound. In years past, status was worn through gold watches and convoy processions. Now, it's in the absence of friction. The smoother your life, the more loyal the system deems you. There are no protests, because there's nothing to protest. Just AI deciding who glides and who grinds. The inheritance protocol. In Oman's palace corridors, the question is no longer who pays the tax. It's who teaches the next generation to obey it. What began as a 5% levy has morphed into a quiet restructuring of elite succession. The Ministry of Heritage and Youth, long considered ceremonial, has launched what insiders call the Inheritance Protocol, a framework for conditioning the future rulers of Oman's economic dynasties. Children of elite families are now subject to subtle financial training. Private schools have introduced modules on national contribution metrics. Mentorship programs pair tech-inclined royals with ministry-backed AI developers. Even childhood trust funds are being converted into programmable endowments, where release of capital is based not on age, but on loyalty signals. In the shadows of this grooming effort stands the Sultan's newest advisory council, the Majlis al-Mustaqbal. Composed of data scientists, ethicists, and former intelligence officers, it reviews biometric profiles of elite heirs, rating them not just on academic merit, but on behavioral consistency. Those who question tax policy in private receive delayed appointments. Those who demonstrate digital modesty, discreet online behavior, patriotism, minimal ostentation, rise swiftly. This is the new currency of power in Oman: predictability. It isn't enforced by decree, it's inherited. Line by line, algorithm by algorithm. Oman's 5% tax was never about revenue. It was about rewriting the script of privilege. In a region where immunity was tradition and wealth meant exemption, the Sultan flipped the formula. Now, silence is the shield and compliance is the crown. No speeches, no riots, no revolts. Just a kingdom recalibrated by invisible code. The palaces remain quiet, but the system watches. And in a world where your wealth is your fingerprint, one question remains. Would you pay 5% to remain untouchable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. One reply will win a mystery luxury gift.